Dr. Sept, why was it so important to ignore all the good Jesus Christ done?
Men and women of God, it's not that they necessarily ignored the good that he done. Well, I'm quite certain some did. But, men and women of God, wickedness was a fraction that also played a part during that time. So I believe it was more convenient to say that he was guilty. And it was more convenient to say that he took the name of God in vain. And, so little small stuff like that, men and women of God, many of these people were most likely in fear. But when you stand up for Jesus Christ, you have to stand up with a level of boldness. Jesus' acts of kindness was so powerful that it would benefit the most conscious of those who sustained him to death if they did act as if they never had witnessed it. Men and women of God, if you're going to deny the power of Jesus Christ and allow him to be crucified, oh my gosh, it may be better that you was never even born. So, men and women of God, we have to understand that power moves and the enemy comes in to deceive. And then, you have to realize who was standing at the front of the crowd at that time. You had the mighty and powerful Pharisees and Sadducees, the lawmaking body at that time. And they had these tall garments of silk and rayon and all these expensive gold and silver. And these big head wraps. And, they move with such power and zeal. When they walk down the street, the crowd parts. So men and women of God, by people seeing them and their presence, it made it easy for people to go with whatever was said. So basically, the people was blinded with fury and rage, and the hate in their hearts would not allow them to speak the truth and the wonderful and the goodness of God.
Dr. Sept, so true. They were afraid and scared to give him credit for all the good works he done because it pointed out deficiencies in them. Jesus Christ was all powerful and mighty, and he is worthy to be praised.
Men and women of God, a lot of people don't want to be corrected. And, I know that no one is perfect and we all fall short of the glory of God. But, men and women of God, during this time that Jesus Christ stood in front of these people and was silently persecuted and vocally persecuted by others, it was one of the greatest travesties to ever take place. But it was also the master plan of the Almighty, because he would show as an example of the things that we would experience as believers. We as believers, we will be persecuted. He said, for those who want to follow me, pick up your cross. So what that means is you will be spat on, you will be marginalized, and you will be differentiated against. But men and women of God, it is a wonderfulness when these things happen. Because you see, the enemy will not attack his own kind like that. But he will attack anything that represents the true power of the living God. That's why we have to steadfast, stay prayed up, know God, fellowship, and understand that we are in this world, but Lady Catherine Sept, we are shown out of this world.